So, Thursday night, the Game Awards happened, and only reason why I was watching it was for the reveals. Technically, I didn't watch it. I just waited till it was over until I watched all the trailers. And, yeah, like, all of my predictions, I was dead wrong. Like, just every single one. There was like two I kind of got right, but those were so obvious that I'm not going to take credit for those. So, like, I was just wrong on everything. We're going to be going over the reaction to what I felt were some of the best reveals at the Game Awards tonight on the Console Wars podcast. So before we get to everything, a little bit of house cleaning. For stars, if you want, go check out the video we released this week on the killer review that I did. Basically, in my opinion, David Finch created like the greatest Hitman Agent 47 adaptation ever with that movie. You can check out my video. I'll leave the link in the comments down below. And if you haven't, hit like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm only going to ask that on this series. I'm not going to do that on any of the other videos because this is a long form video. It's going to be a while, like almost an hour. So, you know, with this, I'll ask that. Also, we do have super likes, donations, memberships. You can look into that if you like the channel. Check out some of the other videos if you want. And if you guys have any questions pertaining to pop culture or video games, ask them down in the comments below, and there's a chance I might answer the most interesting of them next week on the Console Wars podcast. So, definitely rack your brains and try and think of some interesting questions that I can answer. And before we get to the Game Award reveals, there's a couple of things I want to go over first in terms of reveals. And that's about 3 things that were revealed in the past week that I kind of feel warrant me talking about because they're decent enough size. And so the first one I want to talk about is this trailer that dropped for the second season of Halo, the Halo television series that was made by Paramount Plus. And like, look, I'll give it credit. They did kind of a good job on the trailer, but the first season was such an utter dog shit that it probably turned off anyone who might have been possibly interested in the Halo franchise, which is unfortunate because the Halo franchise is so amazing in terms of story, especially with the mainline series following Master Chief. And the first season was just so terrible. I did a review on it and I just ripped it apart. I think I spent I don't know how long I spent on that video. It's one of my older videos, but you can check that out. And what little I enjoyed about the show, it was overshadowed by just so much hate I had for the show. And so, watching this trailer, I mean, yeah, it's nicely done. I don't have any hope for them improving the 2 Keys characters. They did those characters dirty so terribly. It does look like the new character they introduced in the first season is nowhere to be found, or they replaced her. I don't know. And it kind of feels like they're hinting at season 2 is going to be about the fall of Reach. I hope they do it right, but I can tell you what they're going to do right now. They're going to have just a bunch of filler episodes, and then like the last episode will be titled The Fall of Reach, and they'll just cram all that into one 30 to 40 minute episode. And it's like, yeah, we did Fall of Reach. And it's like, no, no, I could feel it in my bones. That's what they're going to do. And it's like, no, if you're doing Fall of Reach, it should be the entire season, okay? But no, no, they're not going to do that. And I hope they get away from the human political infighting that was so heavy in season one. I mean, season one, the main enemy was not the Covenant. It was a couple of human characters. They really, really want to do Game of Thrones, and they didn't do it. And so I hope that maybe this time around the enemies are actually, you know, the Covenant. I don't expect them to actually land on the Halo Rain this season. But, I mean, come on, guys. The first one dragged on way too long. You gotta move this along. Only reason why I'm going to watch this is to, like, hate watch it, because I know they're not going to do a good job on this. And so, and, like, the other thing, why is Cortana still white? Seriously. I complain a lot about race swapping and gender swapping on this channel, and it goes both ways, okay? I don't want to see a white Cortana. I want to see a blue or purple Cortana, and just give her a blue hue around her over her white skin is not kind of it, okay? Real quick, when I saw the trailer first time, I thought, oh, they made her blue, and it's like, when I froze it, it's like, nope, she's still white. So, anyway, I don't have a lot of hope for this show, and let's move on. So, next is probably the biggest announcement of this week, and that is Grand Theft Auto 6. The trailer dropped for that, and I was like, meh, because I have 4, I have 5, I haven't played them yet. So I'm not like chomping at the bit to play this because I haven't played 4 or 5 yet. Now, does this trailer look gorgeous? Absolutely. I also like the choice of song. Lot of, debate on the main character being a woman, and if it's solely the only character in the game, I think that's a poor choice. If it's one of several playable characters, like in Grand Theft Auto 5, no problem with it. And it's hinting that probably you're going to be able to play as her and her romantic interest, and it's going to be like a Bonnie and Clyde story. So if that's the case, no problem. If it's the fact that she's the only playable character, I'll still give it a try, unless the story just seems like it's going to be completely terrible. But no, there's a good chance that the story's going to be fine with this. Beautifully rendered, and good pacing with it. And I mean, it's a good trailer, but I'm not the biggest Grand Theft Auto fan, so I'm not like screaming my head off at this. It's like, okay, I mean, in 2025, I'll look at what the views are. Let's be honest, they're going to delay it to 2026. They're going to delay it from 2025 to 2026. They'll wait a little bit closer to 2025 before they do that. Now, before we move on to the Game Awards, there was a VR showcase that happened, I think Wednesday, where it was just a bunch of new VR game announcements, mostly for the MetaQuest. There was maybe 1 or 2 for PlayStation VR 2, and it was just mostly a MetaQuest collage of trailers, and most of them were the type of games I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, just because they're not my style. But there was this one trailer that popped up that looked really interesting. And it's called Project Demigod, I believe. Yeah, Project Demigod. And it looks like a superhero simulator where you basically can just create your own superhero. You want to swing around like Spider-Man? You can. You want to have a sword and shield, double guns, you want to fly around like Superman? I mean, it feels like you can create your own superhero, and it's like, this is something so exciting. It's going to be on Steam VR and MetaQuest, and I really hope this comes to PlayStation VR 2. Fast Travel Games has released stuff on PlayStation VR 2, I'm pretty sure, so this probably will eventually get released on PlayStation VR 2. And this looks really exciting. I'm hopeful that this is going to be like this really cool, like just create your own superhero game. I'm interested to see how they introduce like fill-ins in this game. I wonder if you can actually like also custom make your own fill-ins as well. If that's the case, then this thing is going to be something that you can like replay for hundreds of hours. So I am looking forward to this. Hopefully it does come to PlayStation VR 2. And so yeah, let's go on to the Game Awards. So one, I'm kind of doing this not in order of how they were announced, but just in terms of my excitement, what I'm interested in, and I'm not doing everything. I'm not covering every single game because there was a lot of games I was just like meh. There was this one game, I can't remember the title of it. It looked cool, but like just back of my head, it's like it's gonna be a live service game, man. Don't get excited. It's gonna be a live service game. You know the one I'm talking about. But like the least interesting thing, and one that I kind of predicted, but it was a safe bet and wasn't quite what I was expecting, was the God of War Ragnarok DLC. And it's not a story DLC, but it's like a horde mode Dark Souls roguelike DLC where it's basically just, hey, try to survive these like 50 waves with Kratos. And it's like, I wasn't terribly excited about this. I mean, it's cool that it's going to be free DLC and it's coming out next week or this week because it's coming out on the 12th. So, I mean, if you like God of War, cool, but it's not story DLC. And so, I mean, it's like, yeah, cool, but at the same time, eh. So, it comes out Tuesday, and we'll see what people say about it. So, the next one that was kind of announced was the release date for Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. And, like, this game looks very polished, and it looks like it could be fun. But honestly, after the first one, I have no interest in another Space Marine game from the Warhammer universe unless I can put on a freaking helmet. Okay? It looks so weird and, in my mind, stupid. Just a Space Marine running around with this bulky armor and this little tiny head just popping out of the top. And it's like, no, give me the helmet. Let me put on the helmet and be a Space Marine. I don't want to play a Space Marine game where I don't get to have the helmet. It's like having an Iron Man game and you don't get put on the helmet. You're just running around with Tony Stark's head popping out the entire game. And it's like, no thank you. I want the helmet. I know it's stupid. But I want the helmet. The next thing that I noticed was this new Jurassic Park game called Jurassic Park Survival. And I don't know if it's going to be canon or not, but basically it's after the events of the first movie, what if one of the park scientists was left behind? And, so that's kind of the concept. And basically you play as this scientist and you have to get off the island and stay alive. And it's going to be a first-person survival game. I'd be curious if they have the spa shotgun from the first movie in it, or is it going to be more like just you have to craft items to heal yourself and stay alive, and it's going to be less combat and more just running and hiding. I don't know. We didn't get a lot of in-game footage with the trailer, and it'd be interesting if they look at maybe doing a VR mode, because that would definitely be a huge selling point for me if it had a VR mode. But I need to see more on this before I get really excited about it. It's not a instant buy for me, and so I'm still a wait and see. Now, something that was kind of surprising to me, it's not that it offered anything that I was excited about, it's just it was kind of a bold way to announce this, but like SEGA dropped this trailer saying like, hey, so you remember Crazy Taxi and Shinobi and Golden Axe and Jet Set Radio? Yeah, we have new chapters in all of those franchises in the works, and they showed a lot of gameplay, like real quick clippets of gameplay, Okami and like Streets of Fury. I think it's Streets of Fury, but like they just showed real quick in this like minute and a half trailer of just quick little shots of like development footage of these games. Yeah, Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, Crazy Taxi, and they also said and more. So like this was just Sega like going like, oh yeah, we haven't really done anything but Sonic recently. Yeah, we're working on these 27 things. So it's like shit. So nothing in particular that I'm super excited about, but just the fact that they were ballsy enough to drop a trailer like this, it's like props. And plus, Crazy Taxi and Shinobi and Jet Set Radio, these are franchises that people have been like begging for a new chapter in a long time. So I'm going to give them the points there, even though I'm not terribly excited about any of them. So the next thing is Hello Games, a studio that I really like. They announced their next game. Not that little like indie one that they released a while back, but like their next big game, and it's Light No Fire. Light No Fire or Light No Fires? Yeah, Light No Fire. And basically it's you're on this like fantasy recreation of planet Earth, and it's going to be procedurally generated, so it's an entire planet, and it's heavy multiplayer focus. But the neat thing about this is, even though it has a heavy multiplayer focus, I think it's safe to assume that Hello Games is still going to offer an offline mode. They offered an offline mode with No Man's Sky, and yet the multiplayer is still very extensive and has a heavy fan base with it, so I don't see them doing anything different here. And this feels like No Man's Sky, with the multiple ways of traversal, the way the world looks, the customization, the combat. I mean, even the way the trailer's set up, it feels like a No Man's Sky trailer. Like they're dropping a medieval update for No Man's Sky, but it's not. It's a new game. Definitely feels like No Man's Sky. And honestly, I'm sure this is going to be next gen only, or current gen only. I guess that's the proper term now. So the art style isn't exactly exciting me, but it's Hello Games. I'll check it out closer to release, and I don't know, if it's interesting enough, I might get it. And then on another note, dealing with Hello Games, they released like a 10-year anniversary trailer of when they first announced the game, which was back in 2014. And they basically just did a collage of like every update they released since the 2016 launch. I think it was launched in 2016. And at the very end, they said in 2024 and beyond, or like continuing in 2024, and they showed basically what looked like the starship from Battlestar Galactica and like a new like Nexus station, and so that was kind of like a hint of like their next big update that they're getting ready to do. So that's cool. Are they going to keep updating and supporting No Man's Sky when Light No Fire comes out? Probably. If they stop supporting No Man's Sky today, I would not be upset, simply because they have supported that game so much. It is like one of the biggest games I've ever seen. I mean, it has everything from mechs and farming and settlements and deep space ship fighting, and it's just like, if you can think of it, the game probably has it. And I'm starting to wonder what else can they add to that game. So, like, I'm not going to say no to any more updates, but if they were to one day say, we're not going to do any more updates after this, it's like, I don't know if I would be that upset. It's like, no, I get it, guys. You gave us the universe with this game. So this next one, it would have been higher on my list, but so little has been revealed about it that I'm having a wait and see, simply because I don't know what I'm looking at here. And that's OD, Hideo Kojima's new game. This thing basically, it looks like a LSD trip, honestly. Now, granted, the digital recapturing of these actors is mind-blowing. Like, I honestly thought I was looking at real footage, but looking at how, like, the lips are moving and, like, the hair on their eyebrows, it's like, this is CGI, isn't it? This is, like, game rendering. And Hideo Kojima, his company, is very big into doing the best next-gen graphics you could possibly think of. And, like, holy shit, I had no idea Udo Kier was still alive. Like, how old is that guy? But Kojima likes getting, like, unusual actor picks for his games. And this, I guess, is going to be like a horror game. And, like, it's a very cryptic trailer. Like, just so cryptic. And, like, that actress, like, screaming definitely has, like, a chilling effect to it. But one of the reasons why I'm not terribly excited about this game is this is that game that they were talking about, like, a year or two ago, where, like, yeah, Kojima's making a game exclusively for Xbox that's going to be an online-only streaming game that requires cloud servers to operate. And it's like, when I saw this trailer, it's like, is this that game that's, like, requires cloud streaming? And, like, I think it is. And, like, I have absolutely no interest in any more online-only cloud streaming games. I am so done with them. And so if it's later on revealed that this is, like, an online-only cloud streaming game, yeah, I'm heading out. I'm so done with online-only games. So, I mean, there's not enough to really make a determination on if I'm going to play this or not from this trailer alone. I have to see more, and it's probably going to be a year or two, or maybe even 3, before we see, like, more details on this game. And even then, Kojima loves being insanely cryptic, even to release date. And when you finally play one of his games, it's like, oh, so that's the story. Okay. like Death Stranding, every trailer is just like, what the hell is this about? And when you finally play it, it's like, okay, so that's what this is about. So, and plus, I think Death Stranding 2 is going to come out before this, simply because we saw a lot more with that announcement trailer than we did with this. I wouldn't be shocked if this didn't even come out on the Series X or Series S. So one of the other announcements that made a lot of sense, and I did kind of accurately predict last week, but it wasn't a big surprise, was Hellblade II: Senua's Sacrifice. This is kind of Xbox's next kind of big game, like Starfield was, and they've already released several trailers. Last trailer they showed off at their showcase, summer showcase, I was a little disappointed. It was like, it didn't look that great, in my opinion, just because it was in a dark cave, and it didn't show a lot. And this trailer shows a lot, and it looks gorgeous, especially her character model looks amazing. I would like to see a little bit more gameplay, but going back to, like, the first game wasn't really about the gameplay. It was really about the experience, the journey, than it was over the gameplay, in my opinion. I still haven't finished it yet, so I could be proven wrong about that. But this looks absolutely gorgeous, and this is going to be one of those games that probably I will get. It hasn't quite sold me yet, but there's like a 95% chance I'm going to get this game. Not at launch, but down the road. And because I already have the first one, and I've been enjoying what I've been experiencing with the first one. So, unless the first one has like the worst ending of all time, which I don't think it will, I'm probably going to get this one, and it looks great. They didn't quite give a release window, they just said 2024, and it's like, I mean, you should have given at least like a summer or winter 2024 or something like that, but you know, they're still working on it, and they don't know when they're ready to release it yet, so, I mean, better to wait than to like tell us, oh yeah, it's coming out in February. Yeah, we got a delay, sorry. So I'm not saying that how dare they not give us a release window. No, I mean, I was kind of hoping for like a summer or fall 2024, but hey, you know, we got 2024, and so I mean, that's fine. And I guess, was this a story trailer? I don't know. I think it was just another trailer. The next one that I had heard in advance was going to be here, and I wasn't terribly excited about it, but then I saw the trailer, was Dead by Daylight's The Casting of Frank Stone. And this one, I saw the trailer, and it's like, okay, Dead by Daylight, Supermassive Games, and perfect implementation. Implementation, sorry about that, of the song Daylight in this trailer. I can't remember the artist names, but great song. I love that song. I've been listening to that quite a bit lately, and so when I heard that song start playing during this trailer, it's like, mwah. Perfect use of this song with this trailer. And so, yeah, Dead by Daylight's getting a single-player game, being done by Supermassive, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm interested in this. Hopefully, it's good. I don't know how close we are to getting it. This is just like a CGI trailer, although with the quality of Supermassive's, like, animation, it may be gameplay, I don't know, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this, and looking forward to more information on it. Yeah, real quick, I can't believe I completely forgot about Blade. I mean, like, it was one of the best trailers of the Game Awards, and I just completely forgot to talk about it. So, yeah, it's a short trailer. I like that Arcane's working on it. I like that it's it's going to be a third-person action adventure, and so I like that a lot. I like it's not first-person type of game, especially with that character, and like, I feel like they're actually capturing the style of the very first movie with Wesley Snipes, with kind of how the sun was like moving overhead in the street while the trailer was beginning, and I thought that was really, really awesome. Like, I was getting some strong Wesley Snipes Blade 1 vibes with that, so that was really cool. And then also, like, from the trailer, I'm getting the hint that it's going to be an open world of Paris, where basically everyone's locked down because of a vampire outbreak. I want to say zombie outbreak. And I'm not 100% sold on the design of Blade, but I can forgive that if the story's good and the gameplay is freaking awesome as hell. And so I'm interested to see Arcane Studios do a third-person game, because like every game they have done has been first-person, and so it'll be interesting to see if they actually do that. And then kind of like the last reveal they did that I was interested in was Exodus. This was probably like the best new reveal, in my opinion, of the event, because it's space sci-fi adventure, has like some very strong Mass Effect vibes. I like kind of the look of the enemy alien species, the foot soldiers, and like the royal elites for the celestial aliens. It deals with time travel, and it has kind of like this third person shooter quality, kind of like Returnal. Sorry, it lost me there for a second. Seems like the camera's a little bit closer. Like Returnal, one of the reasons why I wasn't interested in that game was just, here's the camera, and your character's all the way forward like that. Like I felt the camera was just way too far back from the character. I was hoping for like a closer shot. And I don't know, someone might go, dude, you could change the camera settings in these settings of that game. Maybe you can. I don't know. Just from all the promotional things I saw, the camera's too far away for my liking. And plus, I didn't like that you couldn't save, because I'm in a situation where I need to be able to save at a moment's notice, because I might have to leave my house real quick to go do something that like drops in my lap. And if I'm in a game where like I can't save for like 2 hours, then yeah, that's enough for me. But going back to Exodus. Apparently, it was announced by Matthew McConaughey, and he announced that he was going to play a character in this game. So I've been seeing online a bunch of Matthew McConaughey jokes, all right, and whatnot. And the true key, you see, the trick to doing a good Matthew McConaughey impression is not saying alright. Any fool and his mother on Saturday morning could say alright. No, the true key to a Matthew McConaughey impression is you gotta have that southern drawl. 'Cause that is the only way you will ever successfully pull off a Matthew McConaughey impression. So, I like Matthew McConaughey. I'm looking forward to seeing him in a video game. I hope it's not just a quick little side character that has 5 scenes and a 30-hour campaign. But, no, I like me some good sci-fi action, and, hopefully this isn't a live surface game like every other game is now these days. So, no idea when it comes out. And it's going to be multi-platform. And so, yeah, that was the reveals that were of interest at the Game Awards. And yeah, I was really disappointed for the most part. No Wonder Woman, recap what's going on with that team, what's going on with that game. Like, honestly, I was really hoping for them to show something. Some pre-alpha gameplay, like anything. Not a lot from Nintendo. I was actually surprised. I was expecting to see some third-party announcements from Nintendo. Nothing really there. There was a couple of, like, smaller games that had some Nintendo, like, guarantees that they were going to be on Nintendo, but there was no, like, big Nintendo exclusive announced. No VR announcements that I saw. I would have thought that there would have been some like PlayStation VR announcements here at the Game Awards. Nothing. And yeah, some people will say, well, there was that VR showcase on Wednesday. All of it would have been done then. Well, there was a lack of like real big AAA studios in that showcase. And I'm not saying like, Sony Santa Monica. I'm talking about like just big or well-known VR studios didn't really show up for that, so I thought maybe you would have seen something here, but no. It was too much to hope for Sony to announce a first-party reveal, because, I mean, seriously, what's coming out next year for Sony in their first-party lineup? Like, the Last of Us Part 2 re-release. Like, that's kind of it. I don't think any of their live service games are ready. And so, I mean, yeah, like, Sony's 2024 is not looking good right now, in my opinion. Now, grant, we're at a time of year where we don't know what all is coming out in 2024. Okay, it's still a clean slate for the most part. Like, we know what's coming out till February, and that's really about it. So, credit where credit's due. I'm not saying that, oh, they haven't announced anything yet, they are doomed to lose 2024. No, I'm not saying that at all. Okay, they may have some real bangers coming out in 2024, but nothing's really been announced yet. Xbox, they got Hellblade, and they got a lot of stuff coming, but I don't know if any of it's coming next year. Wait and see, really. And so, and then Nintendo, the rumor is Switch 2 is coming out next year. So I don't see any more big reveals happening before the end of the year. I think this is kind of it. You might get one or two things dropped, but like this week was it. This was the week to announce stuff, and now we're not going to hear anything until next year. And even after the first year, you won't hear anything until like CES, and even then, it's real slim pickings. It's not until like March you start getting some serious announcements. Watch the video game industry prove me wrong. Watch. Christmas week to New Year's Eve, you're going to see like 45 things announced. Just look at last week. I was dead wrong on everything. Just everything. I was a little bit right on God of War and Hellblade, having something, but that was easy. That was child's play. That was not anything of an announcement. I was surprised, actually, not to see a Metroid Prime 2 or 3 remaster. That seems like a given for Nintendo to do, and nothing on that yet. So, what did you guys think about the Game Awards? Did you like any of the reveals they did? Are there any that I didn't talk about that you thought I should have talked about? Let me know down in the comments below. My name is Christopher Connell with 11 Hour Views, and that's been this week's episode of the Console Wars podcast.